to approve these minutes with corrections, I would like to know if we ever got that was the motion last time, approve the minutes with corrections, and I did a right to know, and I got the same minutes with no corrections. So, I'm just saying, I don't think that's probably a good way to go.
The motion last time was to have the minutes reflected in these minutes of the corrections from last time.
I went back and looked, it was I approved with corrections, and I got the right to know that had no corrections.
Correct. But the motion last time was to approve with corrections reflected within the minutes that were taken that night on the 20th. So all the,
I did one for that too, as soon as they're available. Thank you.
The minutes are on effect on what we vote on anyway.
Well, the minutes are our legal accounting of what was said. I thought they were required. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought the minutes were legally required.
They are.
To
There's
be
some
accurate.
reason they make you keep them in a book and everything.
yeah.
Call for the vote, Doug.
Mr. Fiddler,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Imes,
Yes.
Mr. Shingle,
Nope.
Ms. Croft,
Nope.
motion carries 3-2.
So are we not making them corrected then? Is that what we're saying?
I guess not.
Well, if they're legally binding, how is that? You can say whatever you want as long as you don't record it?
Keeper of history writes it down is the one. That's how it goes.
Tammy, what was your answer to that?
So what, I'm
Your
sorry.
answer to correcting the minutes?
So what, the
They're not correcting them, that was the answer.
Right, but when you asked that, she said something, but couldn't
So-
hear it.
when we made the motion the last time for the corrections, those corrections were to be made in these minutes for what they wanted corrected. And I remember Mr. Teagarden asking the board to send in any corrections they had, and he would have wrote them in the minutes. He wrote these minutes.
He being Teagarden.
Yes.
So where are the rules on how the minutes are to be taken? Is there rules
It's in
for
the
that?
sunshine law.
So
There's no policy or procedures or bylaws for the township as to how they're
you
supposed
only have to reflect the actions that are taken.
I've just been part of a bunch of different
But
organizations and
you
they all do
also,
it differently.
but you're also
so-
supposed to add in, if you got up and spoke about trash along the roadway, you add that in so that if someone looked back, they could say, okay, this was a problem all the way back, such and such. What
So-
people speak on is also important.
So then the board that knew what the corrections was,
Yeah, he was
did
waiting.
not provide Mr. Teagarden with those corrections. Mea culpa, mea culpa?
I didn't have corrections, but Feathers did, and he asked to have them.
Kathy?
Well, that was gonna be my question. Weren't the corrections, I believe you and Ms. Croft had corrections, weren't you to provide them to Doug?
We were,
So
I
he
just didn't
could
get 'em in.
incorporate them into the
Yeah.
minutes? And as far as correcting, if you all would read the Township News, I believe it was December, told you exactly how minutes were to be corrected. There are proper steps to do it.
So then you can approve the minutes.
They're corrected within the next month.
Yes.
Yes, that is,
You can correct them down the line if you find an error and
But if
reference
the
it back.
corrections have already been found, but not recorded, then de facto, approval of those minutes cannot be.
Is this
Potentially,
an issue just since we lost the secretary?
yes.
Okay.
What she generally would do was she would listen, she would take the video
Yeah.
and listen, and that's how she did
I just
the,
think these are things that need to be corrected, not just the minutes, but like these issues, because then there's things to pick on that just shouldn't be existing, really. I mean, again, we're how far into this meeting and there's really not been a lot of business done.
yes.
This is a perfect example of what I brought up about
Okay, guys, be quiet, you can't hear.
if there's no oversight, there's no guidelines, so you've got, forget the minutes from last time.
so
I'm
the
talking-
minutes were actually done the very next day after. They were sent to the board, and the board was to reply to Mr. Teagarden, and I believe Ms. Croft just said she didn't do it. So how is he supposed to get them in the minutes for us to review?
We can,
He was
Yeah.
here,
Well, he was
When you-
here.
Right, but I'm just saying.
taking the minutes. That was my point.
Right.
If there's no oversight, he holds no position, there's no ramification, no consequences for him not getting correct. So these minutes that you got, I'm not talking about even that, the minutes you just approved, you heard at least 3 people speak out, they're inaccurate. It's not an accurate depiction of what happened at this meeting. I brought up one in particular, several other people did. So you're approving an inaccurate record of what happened at this meeting. And there is no oversight, no consequences, and you guys are approving inaccurate minutes. That's not proper. There should be an objection from the board members that are not on board with it to get it on the record. I recall numerous times that Mr. Teagarden, when he sat on the board, when he was not in the majority, that he objected to the minutes, wanted it reflected on the record as he stated that he wanted it corrected in the minutes. Now, he seems to be, not have a problem with it now. That's my point.
Hey, JD, did you ever see any of those corrections made? No, none of them were ever made.
Multiple wrongs don't make anything right.
Take action to approve the treasurer's report.
I have one question.
Good.
I'm Steve Antoinette, resident of Donegal Township, and from what I'm hearing, many folks are supportive of the possibility of a township manager. Many residents are unsupportive of a township manager, so I personally am indifferent. I didn't know if anybody that is supportive of it would maybe like to share their reasonings why and the benefits it could possibly bring our community, and then vice versa, those that don't support it, what their side of the table is. It could possibly help all of us feel more comfortable about the position. And the other thing I had wanted to know was, at the last meeting, it was indicated that you were going to advertise and it was sort of an exploratory position. I see that we have interviewed for that, so are we indeed moving forward with it? Those are the 2 questions.
Probably not,
Okay. And what,
not at this time.
You had 3 interviews though, 3,
It's for secretary and treasurer and chair, and manager,
right,
yeah.
so you are active.
what,
That doesn't mean we're gonna do anything with it.
what made you decide for it or against it, I guess, if you're headed the opposite approach?
Biggest thing's finances.
Finances. What were the benefits that you saw to possibly have it?
I mean,
Speak up, he asked you.
I said, it's not on the agenda right now because we didn't do any action besides the interviews.
If
Well,
I could have a second.
I mean, maybe just moving forward, if you think you're gonna head that direction, and possibly not this year, but say next year, it just might help all of us if we know why. Because there could possibly be benefits and maybe not. I personally don't know.
I think you found my dog too, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Very nice dog.
This is the first time I've seen you.
Oh, okay, you're welcome.
I just want to say
And
that.
you sent us a gift card, that was
I
very nice.
did.
Thank you.
See?
We enjoyed
Good
that.
neighbor. We appreciate it. So I just want to say that the manager position for me was like, okay, we're spending this money, so that position has to be a position that's taking up a lot of other things, right? So it's going to be multiple jobs basically, because that would be the only financial sense of having it. And it needs to be somebody qualified to do all of those jobs. So I kind of took a hard look at it, and I think the benefits of it are, these guys are not professional managers of townships, right? They're voted in, they're trying, A for effort. But I think the problem is these meetings are kind of tough, because when we aren't seeing things presented in a certain way, as if there's like a structure or decisions that are being made and progression is being made, then we question what in the heck are they doing, and why are things being done a certain way? And when there's not everybody getting along, that makes it even 10 times worse, right? So I thought a manager would be probably a good decision for this township, because the townships that grow have those positions. There are grants that are being missed out on. I've written grants, there's money, the state has money, the government has money. They just need people to ask for it for the right things. There needs to be, the infrastructure of our community needs to be worked on, telephone services, roads, bridges, growth, right? There needs to be growth. So I think that's where a manager could come into play. The only downfall for it, I think, would be if somebody who was the manager had their hands tied, and couldn't do the things that would cause that growth or create that. But we should be having community days. You know, we should be doing so many things as a community that we're not. And I think those things could happen if there was somebody that was their job, that was what they did. These guys have all other things to do. All other responsibilities, all other jobs. Now, if they could split those duties up and get them done, that would be different, but they're not. So I think that the manager thing was a good idea. That's my opinion. The downfall of it would be the cost, but you get what you pay for. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad decision.
Your last name Trump? Thank you. What was your name, please?
Take
Julie,
action to
Graham.
approve the final.
Graham.
He asked if her last
Treasurer's
name was
report.
Trump, her name was Graham.
You have a motion on it?
No,
Did you get all that done?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report dated January 21st, 2020 to February 17th, 2020.
I'll second. Any discussion?
What are you voting on?
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, Frank.
Okay.
Vote.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. Symes?
Yes.
Mr. Shingle?
Yep.
Mrs. Croft?
Yes.
Fiddler?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Take action to pay the bills, township bills.
I make a motion to approve the bills as listed on the unpaid bill list.
I'll second it.
All right, Groudon's Stone, is it state approved
Yes.
for the liquor stores also?
Yes.
Mr. Bergen's bill,
It's in front of you there.
did he speak to the police department or?
We can't discuss that.
But the bill's public. The bill's public.
Not all of it. I haven't seen it all, but it may not be. There could be certain personnel bills that are confidential.
You can't have
You
confidential.
can't have a
Confidential bills?
You
confidential
can't have
bill.
confidential money.
No, yes, you can, an invoice, parts of an invoice, if it's discussing litigation or anything, yes, it can be. I'm
It
not
still
saying.
has to be public what the money
I'm
was.
not
The question is,
Yes,
the question is, what did he do to earn the money?
That's fine, but I'm not saying that it is, but it would need to be reviewed before it would be made, the full invoice. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Isn't the invoice right here
Yeah,
in public?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of what I didn't understand.
So you agree with me?
No, the point is that anybody here could come up here and grab the thing and read it and see it.
I don't know why you would do that. Shouldn't do that.
They,
Look, that's my advice to you.
So you're,
I know, well, if my bill's in there, please take it out, because.
no, your bill's in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I know there's confidential information on my invoice.
So you wrote confidential information on this bill.
Right. I sent the bill to my client, which is this board, not everybody out there.
They give you
No,
the,
No, you're not, you're not my client. That's
What's
what you
the bill
have to
say?
understand. You're not my client.
What's the bill addressed to?
Pardon me? It's
What's the
addressed in
bill?
Donegal Township.
Who's Donovan
Everybody in this
Township?
room, unfortunately, it's not. If we're
the
talking
bill
about,
says Donegal Township, yes.
Okay.
if we're talking about ethics, which that's been brought up several times, my client is the Board of Supervisors. Mr. Bergeron's client is the Board of Supervisors. not the 2,900 people in Donegal Township.
Then it should be made out to the Board of Supervisors of Donegal Township.
2,400.
If it's made out to Donegal Township, that's everybody that sits in this room.
All right,
This is
I'm
the
not gonna
kind of
argue
stuff
with
that
you.
if this is confidential, it shouldn't be happening out here in front of everybody.
I agree.
Because
Thank you.
quite frankly, that's where you bring the trouble on yourself, because you can't answer the questions, there's no structure, there's no presentation of what's happening, and then it's like whispering, then everybody has a fit, no kidding, because you're whispering in the public meeting. So like, seriously guys, honest to God. And you wanna talk, the manager thing came up because it's never been resolved. It was such a big, huge deal at the last meeting, then it goes away. This is the kind of stuff that's just unprofessional, you're not getting business done, and then there probably are huge bills.
I had a question on the Camco.
But, okay, so the problem is not whether or not you can answer my question in executive session. The problem is that the bill is here, there are questions of what happened, when it happened, and
Well, then call Mr. Berger and ask him. Call the attorney. There's nobody in this room that can probably answer your question. Call the attorney and ask him.
Everybody
I
wants to know
thought
what
we
it
would all
is.
like to
Yeah, she asked
know.
if they talked to the police department, the police chief's standing right there.
so I would ask that we would please remove that bill until we looked at it.
With
You mean
correction.
out of the bill list?
Yes.
Okay, do you wanna hand it down to me, and I'll take them in the back.
The Camco I'm asking about, that's just the annual fee?
That's his technical support, yeah, we pay, and then as we need him to
Yeah,
come
you
in.
didn't get the, because you were supposed to, according to the last meeting, have a new hard drive or something.
That is, Houston Security, sir, that's different.
Oh.
Camco is the computers and the police computers and all the backup
Okay.
systems, yes.
Because the reason I was asking is you were supposed to get numbers. You were supposed to get prices, not do anything.
Yeah, but that's Houston, not
Okay.
Camco.
All right, so what are we doing?
You got a motion and a second on the floor.
To pay all the bills or?
That's the motion.
Did we fix the payroll problem with the police, or?
I know, yeah.
Do you have the unpaid bill list there?
That would be the big fat one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're voting some, budget or something right now, or?
The bills.
Bills.
So does that include, first of all, let me ask, I understand there's a lawsuit against our police, Donegal Township is suing the police, is that true or not?
No, we're not suing.
Okay, so there's no money going for that, right? Because there's no lawsuit?
No.
Is there a
Well,
lawsuit or no?
Bergen is for the lawsuit.
No, he's not.
Okay, well, the contract, he's for the contract.
Yeah.
Well, what is the filing then that was on the 14th? What is
I just wanna
that?
know about the money for it.
That's fine.
Because
I saw it.
if it's Donegal Township versus the police,
Yeah, we thought we.
I don't versus the police.
I'm
I'm part of Donegal, but I'm not
Yeah.
suing the police, I'm not against the police,
That,
I'm not,
that was taken to avoid the contract. To renegotiate a new one.
okay.
It was filed and reported on that day, so are you saying that it's, I mean, I saw it, it's recorded, pending, under Judge Emery. I saw that.
Yeah, it's filed to go back to court to get what he said
We
at the end.
we just said, is it filed, and you said no.
We're not
It's
suing.
either filed or it's not.
I think it's the verdict you're catching everybody on.
What's the difference between legal action?
They're not suing the police department. What they're doing is they filed charges to have the contract null. They're going back under the,
Previous supervisors.
what's it called, I forget, when they said, lame duck. So you're going against them on the lame duck to try and have the contract voided. So you're not per se suing them, you're trying to get the contract null. That's what you're doing, correct?
Yeah, get it
Okay. See, it's
renegotiated.
how you ask your question.
But we
Okay.
just don't know
So
why.
it's not that they're gonna sue them.
We just don't
But,
know why they would like
but
it.
my
We don't know.
question is, Mr. Tutoris explained to us in that first meeting that the only way of doing that, because it was a legally binding contract, was to sue, because the question was, are you saying we would be suing our own township police? And he sat right there in that chair and said, yes, he was saying that.
Yeah,
The Hunter truck stuff, what's that?
We didn't get done talking
That's
about
for
it.
the international.
Yeah, is it the one we got the extended warranty on? That's why I'm asking.
They're doing it. They're doing it.
It's under the judge, I saw
They're
it.
doing it.
Ed, the Hunter truck, is that the truck under warranty? The Hunter truck bills?
Sure. That's what we do.
We bought an extra warranty to avoid that.
Remember that?
If you look, you can see what they're, if the bill's in there, if it's covered under warranty or not. I believe it said it wasn't. You have to
We're,
look.
on the bill.
Yeah.
Well, some of it's oil and fuel filters. We ain't doing that in the shop anymore.
They had to buy them.
It's just the parts.
Yes.
Okay.
What was it, Ed? 'Cause I remember that, because you guys asked me to look at that warranty information, it's pretty comprehensive
Yeah.
and not inexpensive.
Right.
And how old's that truck, how many miles are on it, and why isn't it covered under warranty?
It's been back a couple of times for warranty.
Some of the stuff that I'm just reading here was seals or filters.
Why can't you get the filters in Napa?
Because they don't have the, that year of truck yet. It's too new for Napa filters,
Two years,
2016.
go to Hill International. You can get a fleet cost on it. Get them held a lot cheaper.
$5,000?
I paid $3 for an oil filter. Hunters, you're gonna pay big bucks for them out there.
I don't.
The other two things were the, traction control sensors that was running out of power when we were going up the hill, and if it spin, it would go into like the traction control,
Right.
and we couldn't pull the hill yet back down.
Going in limp mode.
And it was the air gap on the anti-lock brake sensors or something had to
Yeah,
reset.
that should have been under warranty.
I don't know, I didn't deal with the warranty.
How many miles are on that truck, Ed, do you know off the top of your head?
No, I don't drive that truck, he drives it.
And you think it's a 16? It seems like it was
It's an
newer than that,
18.
because that was,
This says 18
It's
on
an
it.
18,
okay,
2018.
I was gonna say, I thought that was when Mike Smith was the supervisor, because I remember him bringing that up.
You looked at it.
Oh, if you want to, we can pull that one out and I'll call them and see if it's under warranty.
Yeah, I would like to.
All right,
We paid up for that extended warranty.
then I'll amend my motion to remove the Hunter truck bill.
Mr. Martin, have you seconded on that?
What's the question, Doug?
You seconded that you wanted to approve or change?
I made a change to remove the Hunter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll
so that I-
second it, yeah.
So that I can call them.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, second.
Ms. Hines,
Yes.
Mr. Shingle,
No.
Ms. Croft,
No.
Fiddler,
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Motion carries. 3-2.
Code enforcement,
He's not here.
he's over here. Fire department.
January was probably the nicest month to us in 20 years. So we had a total of 11 calls for service in January. We had $8,000 in estimated fire loss. We gave mutual aid 3 times, or 6 times, received it 3 times. Our average response time dispatched to arrival on scene was 12 minutes and 4 seconds in January. Those 11 incidents, we had 1 building fire, 1 brush and grass fire, 1 motor vehicle crash with injuries, 5 motor vehicle crashes without injuries. 3 times we were dispatched and canceled en route. And we did utilize 230 man hours in the month of January.
Anything for fire marshal, Eric?
I do not.
Okay.
Actually, I have one question. The church, I say it's nearly done. Have they come here for an application for the Knox box, or?
Not yet.
Okay, as long as we remember that they need to get one before they're occupied.
Mr. Chairman, first, I would like to make a motion to give.
Louder.
I'd like to make a motion to give a building key to the fire department. It was brought to my attention that they no longer have a key to get into the building. And I would like to make a motion to give the key to them so they have it on.
I'll second.
Just
Public comment on it?
Tom Teagarden, Assistant Fire Chief, West Alexander Fire Department. Until the locks had a problem a couple years ago, we did have a key to access part of the building. When the locks were changed, we just didn't have another key to access that. So if something were to happen now, we did rely on the police. And if they're on something else and they're unavailable or it's in the middle of the night, we'd have to use a bigger tool that would make some damage. And they also have a Knox box on this building that.
There's a Knox box on this building.
That we could have that in.
So in an emergency, if you've changed any locks, we haven't changed keys in there, so that's something we would need to do.
But the key would go in the Knox box.
Key would go in the Knox box.
Right.
But is the knock box inside though?
It's outside.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the front of your building.
I'm gonna get into it. but-
Yeah,
Or
it's
high.
high.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's
high.
high.
We access it with a ladder, so that people can't
So
mess
would you
with it.
prefer us to put the key in the box?
Yeah, you'll need to contact us, we'll have to open the Knox
Okay.
box. Yeah, if you've changed some locks, we need to take keys out, put keys in, and there should be keys in there for every, if you didn't want one for your office because you have personnel stuff in there, and there didn't need to be one for police department, if we needed to get in there, we can get in there. You know, so I could see not putting a key for those, but every other door in the building should have a key in the Knox box.
So,
You don't know whether there's a key in there for that door now?
I have no idea. We would have to schedule a time, we come down, take the keys out, and see what fits what and what we need updated.
well then I can change my motion to say that I'll meet with Eric to get all the keys updated in the knock box.
Okay.
I don't think it requires a motion.
I wasn't sure, I wanted to make sure that update it.
Yeah.
Then I'll withdraw my motion for this meeting.
Office and water.
The lights are on, and, I'm here when I can. I'm sorry if I haven't been. I try and put a sign up. I'm doing my best. I have stressed to the board that we do need a secretary treasurer. As far as water, we did have the DEP, inspection. We had 2 sightings. One is already fixed, it was the rake. The second one is dealing with our reporting, which John Forrest is getting that corrected. And that's it.
Police department.
I have a question on water. Recently received a message from an engineer about your booster pump for the water extension at Waynesburg Road.
Okay.
Do you know, have the hydrants out there been flow tested yet, since they've been installed?
I don't know, but I can check on that for you.
We need to get them flow tested, so we understand what flow we have prior to them installing a booster pump. He contacted me, wanted to know how many gallons per minute we would like to see out there, and he suggested 400. It's woefully inadequate. So we need to see what they flow now. The line that's coming off of the last 2 hydrants there flow 750 and 1,000 gallons a minute. You know, I would like to know what they're flowing out there prior to a pump going in, so
Sure.
we can determine whether it's even worthwhile.
I will contact John and have him get in touch with you and
All right.
get that done.
Can I ask a question? Oh,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, the temporary staff that was supposed to be helpful to you. And there's nobody there. Can
They
you
had
explain
one
that?
out, they had one to come and she came for 2 days and it is not a fit for
Turned
her.
around and walked out.
And they only have one.
I've been asking for more, and they have not been able to provide us with another. I have reached out to other agencies, but they want $25 an hour, not the $16, $17 an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Police department,
Parks and Rec.
I
She's
missed
not,
that, Park and Rec.
she's not here this evening, she texted me that there's no report.
There's also still an opening though. We need to, if anybody would like to join Parks and Rec, we have an opening.
Police department,
Yeah, January 2020, approximately 600 man-hours of service, 82 calls for service with 195 events. January officers recorded approximately 22 traffic stops, investigated 2 reportable and 1 non-reportable crashes. Officers issued approximately 9 citations, 0 non-traffic citations. We filed no criminal complaints in January. We filed 1 juvenile petition. Total property loss for January was approximately 1,120, and property loss recovered was 1,070. Officers patrolled approximately 3,855 miles, used about 266 gallons in gas. The magistrate's fees collected for the month are on there, and I've attached copies of Buffalo and Claysville reports as I usually do. That's all I have.
thank you.
I have another question, being that we're on my police. So there was a contract passed in December that some people don't like, and so you're trying to sue to get it disbanded. So have they ever gotten their raise? Will it be retroactive until you get this
It'd be
new one?
retroactive, yeah.
So they'll get paid for the new contract, even though, and then you'll redo another one? Okay, because they don't get paid enough. They should get paid double what they get paid.
You put a contract on hold.
Road department,
Yes, we've been treating the roads for snow and ice as
We need to sue
needed.
the solicitor for this contract.
Frank,
We've installed culvert pipes on Jansen, cleared the ditches. Backbone Road has got some pipes, got some more to put in on it. We did a ditch line, stone ditch line on Backbone. We've been removing some trees. We started on the slip on Backbone today. We got a new slip on Shaler. We patched Main, it did not stay. It needs cut with a grader and then rolled in, around back in that road. The road's pretty wide after that gas company got in with it. We got the Poplar Avenue grant thing, thanks to Eric Graham for getting the applications in.